Whether your sukha is virasana, hero's pose, or more of siddhasana, which is what I prefer to sit in, which is a wider seat than sukhasana. In sukhasana, we create a triangle, almost equilateral triangle, but in siddhasana, the seat of the adept, I like it just for its name. It is a little easier for me to sit with a tall spine. I invite you to take your thumb and index finger to each other and then place the palms facing upward. This is Jhana Mudra. It's spelled in a couple of different ways. J-N-A-N-A is one way, and you might also see it as G-Y-A-N-A. So that's all because of how language is translated, how alphabetical letters are used, but the pronunciation is jhana, jhana. When the palm's facing up, it is an openness towards everything. Whatever resides in our world. An openness to knowing that we don't know the answers to everything. And sometimes when we pray, we ask for guidance, we ask for support. So this would be very similar to sitting in prayer, open and receptive. When you turn the palms down, still with the thumb and the index finger touching, it's called Chin Mudra, C-H-I-N, Chin Mudra. When we hold it this way, it's an inward action. It's a grounding mudra. So we may feel really out of sorts, overwhelmed, like we are seeping out of our skin. And we need to draw back inward, not spread out yet more, in which case this is a good hand position. So I invite you to close your eyes or keep a soft gaze on the mat and just gently move your hands. Take a couple of breaths in one direction and then turn them and then take the other direction. And just notice which one seems to have the least amount of quilliness. Which one is the easiest, where there's the least amount of effort. And then choose that one. And we'll take 3 deep breaths. Breathing in. I want you to exhale through the mouth. That can be very cleansing. Helping the body relax. Notice if there are any place that feels really tense right now. Can you let go a little bit more? Create a little bit more ease in your seat. Sukha. So again, with the eyes closed or a soft gaze, feel where your body meets your world. Feel your clothing, maybe feel the mat under your body. So a sense of where do you meet that which is not you? What are these sensations? Pressure, Maybe it's hot or cold, cool, restricting, soft, whatever it is, there's no right or wrong. Sensations, not emotions, not thoughts of the mind. Hey, Joanne, welcome. We're just sitting in a comfortable seat with the thumb and the index finger touching, palms facing up or down. Even with the eyes closed, notice light flickering or soft shades dancing across. If you have a soft gaze, keeping a soft gaze at what you are seeing, not landing hard on anything. Now switch your awareness to your nose, your smell. Is there any smells? Not judging, simply observing. This one, of course, relates to your taste. Do you have a taste in your mouth right now? And last, we go to the hearing. Let the sounds just wash over you. Observing them, some of them are close by, some are a little bit further away. Now, the sensory organs, the incoming mail that provides information about our world. The fifth practice, pratyahara, is the practice of withdrawing the attention from the sensory organs, so that we're not distracted by them. So as you sit, I invite you to bring your awareness to the palms of your hands. Maybe you feel a soft tingling awareness. From a scientific point of view, we are light and particles. But from a humanistic view, we are thoughts and emotions. We are so much more than light and particles. So we are holding both of these views of who we are. A complementary view, it's not either or, it is both. But can you sense that dance of inner particles, that sense of aliveness that's present? That is what we are working with in our yoga practice. Increasing space, making room for more light, more ease. Take 3 more breaths, staying with the sensations, the inward sensations of you. You'll be distracted by a thought, sound, smell, and we just come back. And after the third breath, I invite you just to release your hands. Stretch the fingers as you open your eyes. And let's take the legs out in front. Dandasana. So take the hands behind. I'll turn on the mat so you get a little bit better view of what all is transpiring. So sitting up on a blanket, I can facilitate a little bit more lift up through the front body. So draw the legs down, pumping the knees down towards the mat, realigning the knee joint from being bent up. And then let's inhale, draw the arms out and up. Interlace the fingers, press the palms towards the sky, lengthening up, creating lift, space, and twisting to the right. Pavrita Dandasana, revolved staff pose. Let's inhale, draw the arms out and up, and twist to the left. With your right hand on the outer left leg, you can facilitate a wee bit more. And inhale, let's draw the arms out and up again. And we'll release the hands down. Let's take the soles of the feet together. With the soles of the feet together, and either the hands or the elbows, just get a little bit of wiggliness going in the inner groins. Our practice today, this week, is balance, pondering balance in all things. Again, that's that notion of stira and sukha. So let's take you with the aid of your hands. Can you open your feet up a little bit more so the bottom of your feet, the soles, you can look at your sole. And then use your thumb, give yourself a little sole massage. So I included the footwork for this month since my boss gave me an extra week off this Christmas. I figure you can get it. Very nice of her. Let's bring the soles of the feet back together. We'll draw the knees together and take the legs out again. Take the hands behind, Dandasana. Press the hands down, press the legs down, sitting tall. And we'll come all the way onto the mat. And we'll start with a little supine work. I'll move my block out of the way. So you just want to have the block accessible, but starting on your back is flat. So now we changed our interoception. What is now touching the mat? I invite you to bend up the knees. And then inhaling, let's arch the low back. And exhale, flatten. Inhale, arch. And exhale, flatten. Let's go back and forth. Can never go wrong with this one. Let's build a little bit on it. So next time you arch, as you inhale and arch, let's float the arms up overhead. And then exhale, hands down as you flatten. Inhaling, arms overhead and arch. And exhale, flattening. That one more time. Flattening. Okay, two more times. Because now we're going to inhale the arms overhead, but as you exhale, hug both knees in, chin to chest. And now take the head down, but we'll take the legs, both legs to the right. So support with the right hand, but take the left arm out to the side. So my right hand is supporting the legs. This is back to second vinyasa. Coming out to center, and we'll twist to the left. Only go as far as is comfortable for you. Inhale, straighten the legs towards the sky, take the arms overhead, and then take the legs wide, Upavista, back to center, Exhale, we hug the knees back in. And inhaling, feet down, arms back overhead. Let's repeat. Exhale, hugging the knees in. And take the legs to the left this time. And two, exhaling all the way over to the right. Back to center. Arm sweeps over the head as we take the legs to the sky. And then we go wide. Back together. And exhale, let's hug the knees in. And inhaling, arms up back overhead. I think that's worth repeating. Exhale, hug the knees in, chin to chest. And we take the knees to the right. And to the left. Back to center. Legs to the sky. So this is an upside down, downward facing dog pose. Inhaling is a wide-legged downward facing dog pose. Knees back together, hugging back in. And inhale. Feet down, arms overhead. One more time. Exhaling, hug the knees in. Take the legs to the left, twisting left. And back to center. Support the legs down to the right. Back up. Inhaling for our upside down, downward facing dog. Take the feet wide. Back together. Hug the knees in. And inhaling. Arms overhead. Exhale. Let's take the arms down. Now I invite you to take your block on the low level, slide it under your hips, right? Well, under your sacrum, under the sacrum, so that your pelvis is neutral. You have a little bit of a back bend, not a big back bend. And this is uncomfortable. Use a blanket instead. That's going to be a little bit lower. Lift and spread the toes. And then pay attention to feel the big toe mount, inner heel, outer heel, and then forward to the pinky toe mount. We have the four corners on the mat. Stretch the toes forward. Keep those four corners, and then softly let the toes come down. They're laying like they're just taking a nap on top of the floor, but the four corners, got those. As you inhale, press these four corners down, squeeze the buns, lift the hips. And then exhale, lowering down. So with the block, we just got a little bit of a starter. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lowering down. Again, lifting up. Lowering down. One more time, lifting up. And now you may be able to take the block up onto the next level. So not high, medium height. Or you decide, no, I liked it better before. In which case you stay where you are. Walking the feet together. Take your right ankle across the left thigh. Right ankle across the left thigh. And then here, draw the right knee in towards the chest and releasing back down. Let's do that again. Draw the knee in, releasing down. One more time, drawing in, releasing down. So you can do this laying flat too. So we're just adding a little bit of variation being in the back bend. Now with the right foot on the, I think it's the right foot you have on the mat, but it may be the left. I might have gotten backwards. The foot that is on the mat, the four corners, is now going to lift up. It's not going to go very high off the block and then lower down. Find the block again. Let everything pull. We're going to do that again. Inhale, press the foot down, lifting up. Really use that leg and lower down. 3 is a really nice round number, don't you think? Press the foot down, squeeze and lift. And we lower down. Let's release. Right foot down, or the one you had on top. And place the other ankle across. Keep the ankle flexed as you draw the knee in and lowering down. Drawing the knee in, lower the foot down. It's going back and forth. So your piriformis is getting a little bit of help here, that pesky muscle. Now, as you place the foot down, keep flexing your ankle, the figure 4 ankle, and then inhale, lifting off the block. And it may be just contracting the muscles without actually lifting up. That's perfectly fine. Lifting and lowering. One more time. Lift. Lower. And we'll release back. Feet are down. And because we've had the weight on the block, we want to re-establish the connection with the multifidi muscles that help stabilize the spine. So as you inhale, press into the feet, squeeze the buns, and lower. Do that 4 more times before you move the block out of the way. After the total of 5th time, lifting up, take the block out, and slide the legs out long. Pause. Body, breath, mind. Creating space. That's the Hatha yoga, the sun and the moon balance. Now consolidate the legs. Consolidate the legs. Draw the tailbone towards the heels. Tailbone towards the heels. As you do so, you can feel your abdomen pulling down. So that's the abdominis transversus. We want to have access to that. Half boat pose, and we'll do variations of half boat pose. So with the tailbone lengthening towards the heels. And the next out breath, let's lift the head and the arms. So it's like an upside down Shavasana, contracting the front. And then slowly releasing back down again. Pause. Full breath in and out. Take a breath in again. Draw the tailbone towards the heels. Exhale, belly in and out, and we lift it. We lift up. Now press the left heel down, lift the right leg up. Lift the right leg up. So it's Ardha Navasana. Lower down, lift the left. Low back presses down. And lower down, everything comes down. So that Ardha, one leg, we could also call it Ekapada Ardha Navasana, one-legged half boat pose. But it is just that little kayak. Let's do it one more time. Take a breath in, exhale, tailbone towards the heels, head up, arms up, lift the right leg, press the left down. It helps keep balance, not overstraining the back. Let's switch to the other side. Lower down. And now draw the knees in. Draw the knees in. And use the knees as your propulsion. As you kick the feet forward, pull the head up, and we find ourselves up in boat pose. I'm holding on to my arms or to my legs, holding on. Strong lift from the lower abdomen, that sense of pulling the abdomen in and up. So we're sitting up, we're sitting on the sits bones, and we'll take the right leg straight, taking the right leg straight, and then taking the left leg straight. Now, instead of balancing on the sits bone, you can always place one foot down on the mat. That helps the abdomen a little bit. So don't make it harder than it has to. We can still engage the muscles without making it scary. One more breath, maybe both, straightening up. And let's cross the shins and we'll come all the way around to tabletop. And as you come into tabletop position, if your knees are letting you know they're there right off the bat, then I say slide a blanket under them. So tabletop, hands under the shoulders, knees under hips. If this is irritating to the wrist, couple of things. Take the hands out slightly in front of the shoulders rather than under. Grounding down through the thumb mount, index finger mount, and the heel of the hand, but keep a little bit of lift in the wrist. Let's do some circles. Just circling about. My fascia, my wrists, around my hips and shoulders. Let's go in the opposite direction to release. If the fascia is stuck, the connective tissue, then we can stretch our muscles all day long. We're still going to be stuck. And we are back at neutral. Let's let the hips come down towards the floor. So our high or tall cobra. And then exhale. Tuck the toes as you draw back to puppy pose. And then inhale forward again, just moving at a pace that's comfortable. You can also do cat and cow instead of going back and forward if that feels better. Or rest in child's pose. Back and forward. We practice yoga, one teacher once said, not in spite of our conditions, but to support and heal. And I liked that. Next time you draw back to downward facing dog. And you may choose to either go back into puppy here or use a chair for downward facing dog or the wall. And we're here going to just shift back and forth a little bit. You'll get a little bit more fascial release on the sideways and on the shoulders. Take the feet as wide as the mat. As wide as the mat. Bending the knees, straightening the legs. Bend and straighten. One more time. We settle in. And then on the next in-breath, let's look up and walk our feet up to the hands, hands to the feet. Looking up as you inhale, we'll take the hands to the hips and press all the way up. Mountain pose. Let's take a block. Place it between the thighs. So just above the knees. so that it helps us get some feedback. In the classical text, often they would say stand with the legs close together. That can feel really restricted. It's not wrong, it's not right, it just is. I'll turn so you can see me from the side. So with the weight going into the heels, lift and spread the toes again. Lift and spread the toes again. All the way down there. Big toe mount presses down. Go back to the inner heel. Outer heel. Forward to the pinky toe mount. And now stretch the toes forward, forward, forward. Notice how you really feel the block as you stretch the toes forward. I invite you to close your eyes and you'll notice that you are balancing now. There's constant movement. Constant movement. Toggling a little bit back and forth from side to side. But we don't think of this as balance because we're so used to it. So as we play a little bit more with balance tonight, we'll hold on to that notion. But first, let's take the arms out and up. Clasp the right wrist with the left hand. Extend the arms to the sky and then side bend to the left. Side bending to the left. Opening out the side of the lungs. And inhale to center. Clasp the left hand. Reach up and side bend to the right. Breathing into the left side waist. We have 2 lobes here, 3 on the right. That left is making room for the heart. Let's come back up to center, separating the hands, reaching up, and then lift up on the tiptoes, lifting up on the tiptoes. So now it begins to feel a little bit more like a balance thing. Big toe mount and pinky toe mount still on, evenly. Let's bend the knees, hug the block. So the block is helping us here as we sit down into Utkatasana. Let the heels come down. Heels down, lift the heels, and then slowly come all the way up, tall mountain. Descending the heels, but keep your hands high. And release the arms down. Pause. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms out and up, tall mountain. Lift the heels. And that may be a 1/16 of an inch. You control. Lifting the heels, bending the knees, bend the knees. Use the muscles of the thighs. Squeeze. Squeeze. Let the heels draw down. Lifting the heels again. And standing all the way up. And then keep this height of the arms, the hands, as you slowly descend the heels. Can you get a little taller? And arms down. Let's move the block out of the way. So I chose Baxter's second vinyasa because I think it's a lot of fun to do his first vinyasa as a balance sequence. It changes everything. So if you know your balance is a little chatty, I invite you to be close to a wall for support. So the first part, we're just going to put the pieces together here. The first part, let's bring the weight onto the left leg. And we'll take the right leg up. Just lift the knee up, lifting the knee up. So what the focus is going to be, what's happening in the left foot as you lift the right leg? What is happening there? So how high can we take the right leg? I want to take it down a little bit, up and down. Can we take it out to the side? The Captain Morgan pose. How does the left leg negotiate that, taking it back in and down? We'll do the other side. So yeah, we have our balance pose in the practice. Tree pose is wonderful. Eagle, it's wonderful. Crow, it's delightful. To the side maybe, back to center, and down. So that went really well. Standing again. When we do balance poses, it's a great BOGO event. Not only do we work on our balance, but the standing leg works harder, so it's getting a little twofer in strength. Remember, our thigh bone is the biggest manufacturer of our immune cells. It's the biggest bone marrow we have in our body, which is where our immune cells becomes the T cells, thymus cells. So when we do balance poses, the standing poses, this helps with that. So again, I'm standing on my left leg. I'll turn from the side, you can see me a little bit better. This time, as I take the right leg up, now is it available for you to hold the hands underneath or around the front? You can reach down and grab it. Now I invite you to bend your left knee a little bit so you're not locking it out. Bend the left knee a wee bit. I just get a sense of standing here. Standing here. What's happening in the left foot? And now, of course, you can come out of the pose anytime you need to. I'm going to take my left arm to the left hip and the right leg out to the side as we do in the second sequence. And then I'll take it across for the twist. This is not as big a twist when I'm standing, but maybe reaching the right arm back. Take the hands either to the hips or under the thighs, and then press the foot out long, hugging it back in, and release down. So that was a lot of work. It's just a little yoga snack you can pull out of the bag anytime you like. Good to have, right? We should explore the left side. Right, you say, okay, you on, you it. And we'll take the left knee up, either hands under the thigh or around the front of the knee. Again, I'm going to start with my stand leg a little bent. I want to just really check in with it. How you doing down there? Getting the glutes on board as I now press down through the right heel. Tadasana leg. Let's take the leg to the side. It's okay if it's a little windy day. And we'll take it across for the twist. Let the arm go back to the hamstring. Hold the hands underneath or hands on the hips and straighten the legs out in front, lower, perfectly fine. Take the knee back in and down. So it can be a hands-free event. All we're doing, we take it in, up, across, we straighten the legs and hug it in, and we're down again. So we're just getting a little bit of hip mobility. It's a beautiful thing, don't you think? We should do it again. So standing firmly on the left foot, and either use your hands and hugging it in, or keep the hands on the hips and do it hands-free. We'll take the leg to the side, and then across. Twisting. We are back to center, straightening the leg, and then pull the knee up again, and standing down. So even though it's the right leg we're moving, the star is the left. So who's that? Remember that as you do it again. I used the Danish word there for you, sorry. Remember that, not who's that, because that makes no sense in English. Let's do the other side. Standing leg, check, you're on. Left knee turn comes up. We will start by taking it to the side and across and across. Oh, windy here. Take the arm back. And then either hands free or hands underneath for the hamstring. Hug the knee back in. And stand. How was that? That's just good old fun, isn't it? Remember, Lauren Fishman says, posture and balance. So snacking on your balance throughout the day is really pretty phenomenal. We'll play a little bit with Warrior 1 and Warrior 3. So just watch for a second. We'll start as we just did, take the leg up. And we're going to go back and say sort of a half Warrior 3. And I want to take my leg all the way back for Warrior 1. From here, we'll come forward again to a more classical pose. He said Warrior 3, which we will land all the way back up home again. So let me talk you through it. Now you have a visual. I like that, Sarah. You're like, okay, I'm ready. Going in. Tadasana. Let's begin with mountain pose. Mountain pose. Well, inhale, take the arms out and up. And then exhale, you take the arms down like wings again as you shift the weight onto the left foot. So it's sort of a crouching, flying, funky event. Not quite Warrior 3. And then reach that leg way, 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 way back and land it. We'll spin the heel down on the back leg, and we'll take the arms up. Here's the Warrior 1 that we know. Lengthening up, lengthening up. Tall and mighty. Taking the wings down again, it's a little bit more aerodynamic to have the wings back as you lean forward. And now the back heel comes up again. Back heel comes up, shifting the weight forward, taking flight. This is a very challenging pose, so just laugh at it. And then take the leg to the floor, sweep the arms up and claim it a 10. Nailed it. Now we'll take the arms down. Do that again. Inhale, take the arms out and up. And then the wings, bending the right leg as you let the left go back. Just balancing on my right foot, playing with that little event, and then reach the left leg way back. Spin the heel down again. And Warrior 1 once more. It's a beautiful thing. Powerful back leg, powerful back leg. So that sense of reaching up from the side, having a look-see. Now, if you'd like to practice a more classical or traditional Warrior 3, keep the arms straight up as you lean forward. That's a long lever. And shifting the weight back onto your right leg. And negotiate the balance here. And then pivoting, let the left foot come down as the arms comes up. And finding firm ground under the feet. It is a wonderful thing, don't you think? I like it. Eagle. The proud and mighty eagle. Taking the hands to the hips. So we're just going to sort of not disregard them, but take them out of the equation for today's practice. And just take your right foot, I'll mirror, across, but keep the toes down. So the toes are helping with the support. So my knees are bent. I'll do it from the side. You can see it. I'm bent. So it's kind of like I really have to use the bathroom pose as I stand here. So that can help us create a sense of stability. And from here, as we hug the thighs together, you can lift the foot and maybe twirling it together. pressing, both hugging and pulling apart, hugging in and pulling apart. And now let's add some proud eagle wings. Proud eagle wings. There's the toes if I need to bring down for support. Hugging in, hugging in, hugging in. Ready to take flight on and reach it out. And I'm landing on my perch. Or we should do that on the other side. Bending the knee. Take the left across. My toes are down. So again, where's the bathroom? But here I can always just pop the toes down if I feel like I'm going to start falling. So I'm sitting down as if I was doing Utkatasana, fierce pose. I'll add the wings again. Hugging the thighs together, maybe lifting the toes, maybe doing a bigger wrap. But the legs are working. And I'm ready to fly. Ready, oh, I am just about flying. As I lift off my perch, everything. Taking flight. And take the hands down. Here I am. Now let's step the feet wide apart. Prasarada, Padottanasana. As wide as is comfortable. Well, that means wider for some, but not as wide for others. I'm looking at feet. I think we get it. Bending the knees. So this is a very, very fat horse. Lifting up through the heart. Draw the elbows back. So position 1 is a back bend. Every forward fold, remember, begins with a back bend. As you exhale, pivot forward. Take the hands to the floor, to your blocks, so that the spine now is straight, straight spine. So the knees are still bent. Knees are still bent. Lengthening the sternum forward as you lift the sits bones as much as you can. Lift the sits bones. And then maybe straightening the knees. So the four corners of the feet well anchored. Walk the hands forward. Pull the hips back. Pull the hips back. Lengthen the spine. So you're tractioning the spine. You're keeping the hips in line with the ankles. So if you were standing up against a wall, your heels and your tush would both touch the wall. The back of your legs would be on the wall. So the legs are working, 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 pulling, 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 pulling back. Breathing. Good modification, Allie. I like what you're doing. Do one more breath. Walk the hands back under the shoulders. And then pivot on your feet. So you can walk hands around to the front of your mat and step that front foot back, and you're now in downward facing dog. We'll take the knees down. Let the knees go wide. Tops of the feet on the mat. And then sit back onto the heels, sitting back on the heels. Sometimes if we back into Ardha Mukha Virasana, wide-legged child's pose, we miss out on that deep hip fold. So from here, with the hands on the mat, I'm going to keep my tush back on the heels as I walk the hands forward, but keep the seat back, 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 as I bring my ribs down to the inside of my thighs. So here, the forehead may be on the mat, it may be on the back of your hands or a blanket. You don't want the head just hanging. Invite the breath into the back body. And then walk the hands back towards your knees. So you're sitting back up. We're going to bring the legs out in front so we can come onto the back. As you come onto the back body, let's draw the knees in. Cross the right leg over the left. Crossing the right leg over the leg. And then you'll catch either the shins or your feet. So lifting up a little bit to catch the feet or the shins. Go as low as you can. And then release the head back down. Let the feet or the legs be a little active, pushing into your hands as you're drawing the hands towards you. So the feet are pushing away, but the hands are pulling up. And you feel how your outer hip, your tail feathers are getting a little bit of pluming here. Or maybe that's just me. Letting your sacrum spread. So a sense of the back of the pelvis is widening. Back of the pelvis is widening. Slowly release this as we switch to the other side. Again, lifting up and catch a body part. Lower the head down, and it can absolutely be on a blanket, so be comfortable. And kick or press the feet or the legs away from the hands, but the hands pulling in. So there's an even tension. So this is an eccentric release, an eccentric release. With each exhalation, let the tail plume up a little bit more. One more breath. Releasing. And then take the feet onto the mat. With a windshield wiper twist. So the feet are a little bit wider than the hips. So we've only done one twist. Well, if you count the standing one, but that wasn't really twisty. So we only did the one at the beginning. So the windshield wiper, let the knees go down to the right. You're going to look to the left. We'll exhale back to center. Go in the other direction. Back and forth. I do not vote for a big passive stretch twist where we stay, as that can actually, I think, tighten things up a little bit. And if there is osteoporosis, osteopenia, that can produce a fracture. But when we are moving, we have muscular support. We are safe. Also, when in doubt, you come onto the mat, you don't know what to do. Yeah, add this one. You get the twist. Downward facing dog, of course, you have to do that one. Cat and cow, always good to do. See how easy that is? Now as you come back to center, let's hug the knees in again. Now this time, take the legs to the sky, take the arms to the sky too. So in the passive position, this is called sleeping tiger, and in Korean yoga, they hold this for like half an hour at a time, which I don't know why, seems a little excessive. But Peter Levine wrote about taming the tiger, how our emotional experience gets stuck in our body. And what animals do after they have had a fright, they shake. So let's shake your legs, shake your arms. So if you find that you've experienced a shock, we need to move it out of the body. And there's been a few things as of late that has induced some shock in my body. So I'm just going to shake it out. Not stuck in the fight, flight, or freeze. The freeze response is what we are getting rid of here. And let's hug the knees in one more time. That felt pretty good, didn't it? I love the shake. And now as you hug the knees in, wrapping your arms around your legs, take your chin to the chest and hug in. Tight, tight, squeeze. And releasing into Shavasana. And as you come into Shavasana, just first observe when you're laying flat. It's like, I wonder if I were to put something under my head, what would that feel like? It's like, that's pretty good, but that was a little high. Now, if the low back is chatty, sliding something under the thighs. Of course, if you are cold, cover up. Another thing that can be really great if you are feeling anxious is place a block or blanket on your lower abdomen, helping to ground, literally weighing you down. Helping the breath go deep into the belly. Breathing in. I know I am breathing in. Breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. In, out. If these thoughts just almost not there, give the mind just enough to anchor onto. So that this moment, the present moment, right here. Letting the body become heavier, more spacious. With each exhalation, sense of expansion. Making room. For the dancing, light-filled particles. And then gently begin to deepen your breath. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes. But staying connected inward to that place of light, pulsation, sense of you. Bending up the knees, placing the feet on the mat. Rock the knees from side to side. Rolling all the way over onto one side, traditionally the right. But the left may just be more comfortable for you, and that's okay. With mindfulness, pressing the hands down to sit up into a comfortable seated posture. And we'll bring the palms together at heart center and Jhana Mudra. So mudras, hand yoga, it affects us deeply how we hold our hands. So practicing these again throughout the day when you have a moment, or make them part of your meditation, will deepen the layers of awareness as you use them. We will add the mantra to the mudra, the mantra for peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Om being not only the oldest of the mantras, but also the most powerful. That can be invoked either out loud or silent. It heals within and without. I ask you, please join me as we chant for peace. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Exhale, bow your head towards your heart. And believe that it is so. Draw the gaze up. Namaste.